Before we get into the do's and don'ts, I just want to reiterate that everything I say is my personal opinion. I do know that there are a lot of things that may sound really harsh when I'm talking about the do's and don'ts, but I just want to let everybody know that I do mean it in the nicest way possible, just because going through this journey is extremely hard for some people. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is my opinion and stuff that I've experienced with people and my feelings on those things. And if you get upset, please just talk to me about it. I'm happy to talk to anyone. I'm happy to, discuss things if you want to, but just please be kind, and that's it. I had to stop recording last night because something was going really weird with my phone. Something was going on with my phone, and it just did not want to keep recording. There was something wrong with storage, even though I have a ton of storage on my phone available. So I'm just not sure what was happening. So I was like, you know what? I have to stop for today. So I'm gonna just pick right back up. I've already done the tips for walking through your own infertility journey. And now I'm gonna do the do's and don'ts for others. If you know someone who is going through infertility struggles. So this is for you guys. Because some people have asked me, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I've never experienced this myself, so I don't know what to say. Even my friends, my best friend, she said, Lacey, I don't know what to say to you, which is totally fine. If you haven't experienced it, that's completely understandable. But hopefully these tips will help when you come across people that, are experiencing infertility. So the first do is to let people know that you care. Just say, look, I'm here for you. I'll pray for you. If you want to talk about it, I will listen. If you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. And this goes along with another one that I have, which is act interested. If you say those things to people, if you say, hey, I'm here for you, you can cry on my shoulder, you can lean on me, please be that person. Don't act like it's a burden for someone to talk to you about what they're going through, or that it's annoying. But if you're a friend or a family member of someone who's going through infertility, and they say, hey, I would just really like to talk about this right now, just listen. Just offer that hand, offer that shoulder, and let them know that you care. That is a huge part of being a support system for someone going through this. The second one is do your research. And that's not to sound really like hateful or anything. It's just, if you don't know what something is, or you have a question about something, obviously we are more than happy to answer any questions if we know the answer, because sometimes we don't even know the answers. But if there's a question about a certain infertility process or a test or anything at all, just, if you don't feel comfortable asking the person that's going through it, then just Google it. But yeah, if you don't know anything, or if you don't know the answer to a question, or you don't know what some process is, or what some treatment is, or what a medicine is, or anything, and you don't feel comfortable asking me, if you're talking to me or anyone else who's going through it, then please just, do your research. Google, look at, go to the library and look it up, like if that's your choice. And the last one, or not the last one, but a big one, is just to ask them what they need. Me and Matt do this thing where he's like, what do you need from me? Like, however I'm feeling. Like, if I say I've had a bad day, I've been dealing with this, like, this is what I'm thinking about, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what do you need from me? Like, what do you need me to say or do to make it easier? And a lot of times I will say there's really nothing that you can say or do that will make it easier. But a lot of times, especially when my Aunt Dana, she'll say, like, what can I do? What can I do to just make you happy or make you feel better or whatever? And, I'm just like, I don't know, especially when I'm having like some really just like down in the dumps thoughts. And I basically just tell her, you know, just pray, or, you know, give me a hug if we're in person. Just ask the person what they need. And again, most of the time they're probably going to say nothing. But again, you can just let them know that you care and that you're there for them. And that's super, super important. And then the last do is support their decisions. I know in the beginning of our process, obviously I didn't know that I wasn't ovulating, that I was not ovulating. So I had to figure that out. And then once I figured that out and shared that with people, you know, they were like, well, what do you have to do? And stuff like this. And so I started, you know, saying, well, my doctor suggests this medicine and this is what we're going to do. It went from a, have you thought about this? Have you looked into this, to a, you should do this. You should do this. You should do that. You should go here. You should go there. And while I completely understand that the majority of those comments were not said in a bossy kind of way and not meant to hurt, sometimes it just rubbed me the wrong way.
I just want to pause here and say that I'm not talking about in general conversations when people would share what they have gone through or someone else that they know. It was when I was trying to talk about myself because they've asked about me in my process, and people would cut me off and say, well, you should do this or you should do that. And that's what I mean.
In the beginning, when I tried the progesterone just by itself and that didn't work, I then asked my doctor at my next appointment after that, okay, what do we need to do next? And his next suggestion was to do the progesterone and the letrozole. And then after that point, my progesterone had not gone up. It had gone up, but not a lot. So he said, okay, we're just going to do the letrozole again. And at that point is when my progesterone started going up. And I was ovulating at that point, which was at the end of December into January. That's when my progesterone really started skyrocketing, basically. And I really started ovulating. But from August to December, I had all of these people saying, go to the fertility clinic, go to this, go to that, go see this doctor, go see that doctor. And again, I know that it was not done in a hateful or hurtful way. It was just my decisions, and mine and Matt's decisions were our decisions. And we had, in our minds, we had a certain timeline that we wanted to wait before we went on to the next step, before we went on to something else. And we still do. Because we know what the problem is. We know that the problem is I do not ovulate. That is my issue. There is nothing else that has been wrong. My organs are fine. My insides are fine. You know, I'm going to leave it at that. But everything is fine except for the ovulation. Everything looks good. It's just the ovulation part. So there's no need for us to go on to something else. Whatever decision someone makes in their infertility journey, infertility process, just support that. One other do I wanted to add to this was, if you are pregnant or get pregnant or whatever, or you're experiencing something amazing in your life, a milestone, just something that needs to be celebrated, talk about that. Don't feel like you can't celebrate certain things because you know someone in your family or in your circle of friends going through infertility or struggling with infertility. Because I love to hear about those things. I love to hear about people having babies. Yes, sometimes it's difficult. I will not deny that, because it is hard when you see, you know, so many pregnancy announcements and stuff like that. And yes, sometimes it's hard, but at the same time, like, again, like, we can't stop living life, and babies are just a part of life. So don't feel like you have to conceal things or hide things or keep things a secret from people just because they're going through something difficult. So those are my do's. And now we're going to go to the don'ts. And it's probably going to be some repetitive stuff, but it's very important because, like I've said in my past videos, this process is hard on someone mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually too. I will say that it has been hard on me spiritually as well. So while these may be repetitive, it's just things to keep in mind when you're talking to someone, whether you've gone through this or not, or you know someone who's gone through this or not. Not everybody's process is the same. Not everybody's journey is the same. And I try to keep that in mind too when I'm talking to people who are kind of going through the same thing or going through something very similar. One thing that has been said to me over and over and over and over for the past year, and before that, before I went to the doctor to find out what was holding up us getting pregnant, was the word relax. I don't like that word anymore. It's not one of my favorite words. It's not said in a hateful way. It's said in a way that, you know, people think that they're being helpful and people think that they're, you know, giving you some great advice. But it's very difficult to not think about the things that you're going through. I try to turn my negative thoughts into positive thoughts. But when someone tells me to relax, I don't know, I get a little angry, because I'm just going to be honest with you guys, because I'm a very honest person when it comes to this stuff, as you guys have seen. I don't not enjoy the process of making a baby. I will say that. I thoroughly enjoy it with my husband. I do relax. That's probably the only time I do relax. I'm just kidding. But no, it's not like this is a constant thing in my head. Yes, I have days where I think about it more times than not, but it's not a constant thinking about it constantly over and over and over and over again. I have things that I am responsible for. I have a job. I have 2 jobs actually. And like, I have things that I'm responsible for. I have things that I want to do. I try to live my life as normal as possible. It's not something that is constantly running in my head. So to hear someone say, "Oh, you just have to relax and it'll happen," I want to punch you in the face. Sorry. Because that's just not helpful to me. Another don't when it comes to talking to others who are going through infertility is don't minimize anything. Again, I know these most of the time are said in jest and just to be funny. But it's like, oh, you need to enjoy your sleep now because you'll never get it again once the baby's here. Or enjoy traveling now because you won't get to do that when baby comes. It's hard when things are minimized or put down, or like, oh, just you wait, you know, this is gonna happen, or this is gonna happen and you'll be regretting you had kids, you know. It's like, again, I know it's said to be funny, but those kind of comments do hurt at times. So just be mindful of those as well. The next one is don't continuously offer advice or what you did or what someone you know did. Again, that goes back to well, you should try this, or you should do this, or you should do that because I did this, or so-and-so did this that I know. Because again, everybody's process is different. Everybody's journey is different in this. I just have to take medicine to make me ovulate. That's all I have to do. And there are plenty of other people out there who have gone through extensive testing and have gone through surgeries and have gone through in vitro or whatever it may be, and they still don't have their miracle. But you may not know that. My process is a lot easier than others at the moment. I don't know about how it's going to be in the future, but at the moment, my process is a lot easier. All I have to do is take medicine. That's it. But other people have had to go through hell and they still don't have a baby. So that can be very, very hard for someone to hear over and over again. Oh, well, you should do this, or you should do that, or I know someone who did this, so maybe you should try that, or stuff like that. And again, I'm not saying don't say those things, but just be mindful in how you say them. If you don't really know these people personally and have a close relationship with them, and you don't know what they've been through, comments and suggestions like that can be hurtful, because they may have already done all of those things and it still hasn't worked. And sometimes people aren't going to say, well, we've already done that, because they just don't want to talk about it, because either it was very traumatic or it didn't turn out how they thought it would. So again, just be mindful of how you say things. And then the last one is the saying, oh, you have plenty of time. I'm 32, so I'll just say that. Well, you're 32, you have plenty of time. While that is somewhat true, it's not true for everyone. Yes, I'm 32, but the fact that I don't ovulate really scared me. I didn't know what was going to happen when I went off of birth control in 2015, because I had been on it for so long. And when I went off of it, I became a regular lady. It was the same cycle period, like same cycle time period every single time. I had no issues, no nothing, until January of 2020. Then that's when stuff started going downhill for me. And then in July/August, figured out that I didn't ovulate. At that point, I was 31. I turned 32 in October. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, I know statistically that your chances of having a healthy baby can go down after 35, and I'm 32. So yes, while I do have time, that doesn't mean that I need to, just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. So I needed to know what was going on with me. I needed to know what we could do to fix it. And that's what I did. So, you have plenty of time and the relax are just two phrases that just really, really sometimes can stab someone in the gut when they're going through infertility. So just be mindful when you're talking to people, or they are talking to you about their infertility or what they're going through, especially if you have not gone through it yourself. If you never had trouble getting pregnant, if you never had trouble keeping a pregnancy, just be mindful of when you're speaking to others who have or who are, because it's difficult. It's a difficult road to walk down. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say to yourself. And you already feel like crap sometimes, because your body's not doing what it was made to do, what it was designed to do. And then again, people think they're being helpful and they're saying these things, and again, they're not said out of hate, they're said out of love, because they do care about you. But maybe they just don't realize, oh, this could hurt, this could hurt her. I know I've rambled and I'm so sorry. I don't know, maybe I was on my soapbox too much, but these are just some things that I felt like I needed to say, one for myself, maybe for others, I don't know, again. But yeah, so those are the do's and don'ts. Oh my gosh, I feel like I was like such a butt about some of these. And I don't want to be. I don't want to be seen that way. I really don't. And maybe I could have said them in a nicer way. I'm very sorry if I offended anyone or if I hurt anyone's feelings. But anyway, I hope that everyone has a great week. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. And hopefully by then we'll have a great update. And we'll see you then.